to know you were there. We are here and we are ready. September 28th will not be forgotten in a hurry. On that day, started slow, picked up later. Election day it was, and election day it was. And at the end, by Sunday, the results were out. ABGA cleared the way. The entire 21 local government areas of the state succumbed and voted to ensure that people on the platform of ABGA were councillors and chairmen of the 21 local government areas. That's not surprising. Why did I say that? Earlier, before that date, on the 21st, Enugu State and Imo State held local government elections. In Enugu State, PDP cleared it all. In Imo State, APC did the same. So, I don't think we needed a prophet to tell us that the story will be the same in Anambra. Now that the deed is done, the big question is, what does the future hold? Well, we'll get into the question of what the future holds. Let me introduce you to somebody you know already, Chris Maduka. Chris, welcome
Barry,
to our conversation corner.
Back to be home to Southeast.
It's great. I saw you telling us the story of voter apathy and all that from Orumba South.
No, Idemili South.
From Idemili South. Thank you for that correction. From Idemili South. And I was wondering, for an election that should be there to the heart of the people, because that's where they are supposed to have their say, they're not coming out. Does it mean that we've not got the hang over how to prepare for elections? Or are we still mated in a state of we don't care?
It's two ways. It's like what happened in the recent past continued in the recent future. The people of Nigeria, over time, had developed this attitude of we don't care, no any longer. It becomes like the issue of them and us. So now that the people on the other side, the politicians and people in governance position do not care about us, our feeling, and they still come back every 4 years, ask for a vote, let us ignore them and see how far they can go. And it became a proverbial word, the African proverb, specifically southeastern Nigeria proverb, where you say, passing the child over the wall, giving somebody is there across the world. Now you pick a child and say, hold it for me. Without knowing the person you're giving is a criminal, you don't even, the person you did not see the face. So it was like somebody programmed you not to even come out to vote. With the attitude of Nigerian politicians, what we have seen over, the more number of people that did not come out to vote, the better for them and their intentions, whether good or bad. We'll come back to that. So that happened in 2023 election, presidential national election, and people's morale were down and out. I discussed in different fora, and I said, this is going to be the deadliest blow to the soul of Nigerian voters, that before you can get them back to come out of the shock, to go back to the polls to vote. But then, if any good intentioned authority want to really get us back, they now begin to do another rebranding, another awareness creation, another repositioning of things, and they will do this with concrete evidences, no more like, Barry, don't worry what happened in 2023, it won't repeat in 2024, come out to vote. While we are talking about that, the Supreme Court came out with the judgment and said the local government elections must be brought back. Because Nigerian people who plan Nigeria's template will plan with so much good policies when they created that arm of governance. It was like, and the little we practiced in Nigeria was, wow, beautiful. So people over time That's one. Another thing, we are talking about voters apathy. Over 2 decades, on the average, 18 years, some 10 years in some areas, nobody heard about this again. It became like a struggle to become a governor, and you sit back and look at the people who work for you at serious party level, those who went to a struggle to carry the box for you, who travel at night for you, who knows you, and you decide to write the list. In some cases, there will be clashes. Then they'll start doing Noah's, what they did to Jonah inside the ark. They said, let's throw and then say, juggle around, say whoever, but already they've narrowed down to their favorites. I said, go. They will come enter the governor's office. They brief you, go. Go to Idemili South, for instance, and using that sense, and go there and be the chairman of a caretaker committee. You become my ears and eyes, and that's all how he worked for a very long time. And then when the Supreme Court judgment came, we were like, oh, let's sit down, think. And then the next thing we had, from those states who were dead to, let's say, they were dead to listening to whatever people are saying about local government. They were the first to stampede themselves into organization of local government elections. And suddenly you start hearing of Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission, Enugu State in the NCEC and the NCEC, and even you start hearing Ebonyi, when the acronyms sound alike, I don't know what Ebonyi, is a EBCEC or NCEC, and you start hearing INSEC, IMO, whatever. We just, within a month,
probably
their
eyes were on the money.
Your guess is as good as mine. And then, said, if these people are so much interested in getting things done this fast, who would have getting somewhere? And I told them, no, it's not that we are not so critical, I'm only constructive. That something is wrong. Why are we rushing? Why? What's this? Okay, the rush, if you want to beat the Supreme Court didn't give deadline. It just say, even if you gave the deadline, Supreme Court wouldn't have given more than 90 days of the ruling. Now, but some you find it within 1 month has completed arrangement to organize election. That's what brought us.
Yes, but excuse me. Now that we are here, there are so many things we ought to have done that we have not done, that we may not do because we have no plans to do them.
Yeah.
You took us back to 2023 to say that is why people do not want to come out for elections. You may be right. But was there a level playing field for the various political parties to get their acts right? First issue in Anambra was that the number of days for the timetable to be exhausted before election was reduced overnight.
Stampeding.
Was reduced overnight. We had the same issue in Enugu State. Now, some parties decided to withdraw. Some parties went to court. While they were busy in court, a faction of that party came out and said, we are for the election. So while they were busy playing politics, nobody, that's my opinion, which I don't have.
Yeah, sorry.
No one was considering the electorate in terms of enlightenment, in terms of confidence building, in terms of getting them to play the role they are supposed to play.
Exactly, my brother. And that's exactly where I'm coming from.
So, Chris,
yes,
you were on ground. What struck you when you got there early and the same story of late arrival of materials and officials happened?
yes.
You waited and people came in and worked back home, and then the few people who decided to stay back. What struck you?
It struck me as a business as usual. Nobody really cared. And they started like, say, when the water gets spoiled from the source, it trickles down and roll over. you struck the right chord when you say, these are the people you will say, that system, that plan, that policy that will get the government to your doorstep has been reactivated. So mobilize. And you know, the Southeast, I gave an instance, I said, assuming the government want, because that government in power, and it's like level playing ground, and I asked me, who will give it to you? It's like the global world we live in. They say globalization. When the giant and the ants are going to globalization, they say it's equal ground. So when a sitting government appoints a chairman of state electoral commission and all the officers, gave them office, gave them cards, gave them facilities, and collect budget from them to prepare for election. And you are an opposition party. It's supposed to not be. The word opposition is actually negative. You're a political party in that state, and you have your structure. Even the government in power stampeded themselves because they were not even ready. So many things were not ready. So imagine when suddenly parties that are building, they have state offices. Over time, when the national elections have been done, the state offices of some political parties become a graveyard. So imagine within 1 week or 2 weeks, they say, hey, don't go make election. And the state government who holds the yam and the knife, who have stampeded themselves, even you can see that. And then imagine the party who has to mobilize back from Abuja office or from the regional or anywhere office to mobilize, to come back to the state and start mobilizing to 21 local government, for instance. We are using Anambra as case study. Now you want to set them up and prepare for election, and you're not giving that kind of time. And then it's like, let us not pretend. And everywhere you go is that Oga has spoken. Oga has spoken. Oga has, we're asking who is Oga. He said he's the governor now. And then, for instance, what happened in Anambra, the 21 local government caretaker chairmen were brought back, briefed, and they were given mandate to deliver the party. And these are people who are familiar with the ground because they have been there. So the state government only pep them up with, it's like the people, when they say any young man who has been asked by his father to go and steal, we are rather start breaking doors real bad with his legs. And that's what these caretaker chairmen that are transited into elected chairmen did. The implication, if the states who are now going to repeat it are like the legendary blacksmither who doesn't know how to make the metal gong, who could only look at the talon of a kite and say, that's the shape of, and they will mold it. So every other state will expect to do this. And they will trickle back to the national level. Because, let me be very blunt, if APC want all Nigerian states to be one party state, Nigerian, one nation, one Nigeria, one nation, one party nation, are you going to blame them? If at our little corners, they are not being creative enough to even say, let's allow one councillor.
Words.
You know, it's like, and you are sitting there delivering this judgment, 21 local government, one party, all the councillors, stand by the number, I don't know how many wards. In my ward, we have 3 wards. So we have 3 councillors that will be leaving my town, Nobi, in Idemili South, to go to Ojoto, the headquarters of Idemili. So imagine other towns. Some of them have 1, some have 2. If I didn't know, my local government has the highest number of wards that will go there. So 3 wards, here 2, here 1, here, they all assembled there. And it's all like, we do not want pressure. If you say I, if you want pressure, say ne. And they say I, the eyes have it, no pressure. Everyone will relax. Who is going to say, I no agree? Even if it's a minor. So that even the electorates and the voters outside will say, at least he's speaking, but because the population is more, so you do what else? But at least he's representing us who do not believe that we can be one bandwagon. We are creating, I don't know. But I know from this same signature television, working here has provided me opportunity to get private information. When people like you are around, we discuss. That the National Assembly has said they're going to do constitutional review to look at the whole template of local government. And now some people are stampeding themselves, rushing, and now said, are we, when they do the discussing the policies that will guide local government, are we going to backdate it? Meaning that some things are wrong. So, I don't know.
Well, maybe I should ask a question that would increase your quagmire.
Yeah.
Why did I say that? Local government elections, as prescribed by the Constitution, are we doing the right thing? Just hold your thoughts.
Okay.
Secondly, how can the electorate help the political parties to have a better internal mechanism that will produce the right candidates? What do I mean by that? You mentioned your community in Nobi. I know that in Nobi, there are people that individuals can vouch for, that if this man goes to represent us, even if he's a lone voice, he will represent us 100%. And there are people the parties would throw up in the same Nobi, and people will say, no, 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 no. This we have lost. So where can each community, because the irony of the community shouting or the electorate shouting is that each community has a right to really tell the party who should represent them, because from each community you have members of the various political parties. So how can we get the electorate to be that strong together, no matter the color of a political party, you know who you want to represent you.
Exactly.
So how do we get the political parties to understand that at this point too, we all stand behind A or B, because he's the one that's going to deliver us?
You have asked a very good question, and it's intriguing. What I want to say there is that from what has happened, the communities lost their voice. This party I'm telling you is that people who don't even, because when you have time for the parties to mobilize, it's the same community members who will belong. For instance, if I am coming from Ward 2 Nobi, I should have Ward 2 chairman of other parties. You have Ward 2 chairman APUGA, Ward 2 chairman LP, Ward 2 chairman PDP, Ward 2 chairman APC. And all, these are the ones who have, and they have party offices in the wards. It's the same thing that will go into the community and start campaigning and say, one come belong to us, this is our candidate. Come and scrutinize, ask him question. Why wouldn't there be debate at what level? You do Ward 2 and all the PDP give us your candidate, the community come and be our guest. Now check by yourself all these candidates coming out from our community. It's possible at that point they say, oh, PDP has better candidate for this ward, APUGA has for this ward, IPC has, then you have a mixture selected by the government, and they will, when they push out, you can't have any voice. But here, the community lost their voice, that to the point their party is that they didn't even have time to meet and do anything, and the communities are like, what happened now? You still Anambra say we're talking about. If I come out and call for a rally, which is no more because these politicians have killed that. They don't even give opportunities for you to call for rally, go to the marketplace. Said, I know the people, I am coming out for a ward. For those of you here in the market, because it's the marketplace that has open places. They normally do. I have run for elections in my place, and it was the marketplace. You go there and tell them your intention. So the people, so for those of you who come from my ward in this market, this is my intention under which party and there's nothing again, because when any project come up, you are handpicked and you are giving money. And they giving money and they call, what is prevailing in Anambra? You have what they call stakeholders.
I think
those stakeholders, they bring the money. No, when they call the leader of stakeholders.
Stakeholders are everywhere.
The structure, okay, the structure owners, because stakeholders are everywhere. So the structure owners are the ones who do what in Anambra State. This local government election has just gone. They have started calling meeting for our next local government election. Every Sunday in their place, they bring out their money, invest. When you come for meeting, after meeting, they will tell you, you write your name, and they are not partisan. There's this how they do it in Anambra. So they say structure owners. So when you want to talk in Anambra, say, have you spoken to this man? He has a structure. Have you spoken to Barry? He has a structure. Have you spoken to Chris? He has a structure. So what the politicians do now, they go and carry the money they're supposed to use to campaign and give to structure owners. When the money lands, the structure owners will first give the people who were regular in attending meetings and say, as the chief, I share it to a take, then you guys who have been participating. And these structure owners happen is that even if you are coming under LP, you must go and see all of them. If you are coming under PDP, you must see all of them. If you are coming under Abuga, you must go and see all of them. But with this, at that point, they can now, with their stakeholders and the structure owners, there has been some element of, scrutiny. Because what happened in Anambra State is that structure owners will invite all the owners and they come and be dropping money. 5 minutes to election, they will send text messages to everybody vote. That's Anambra State for you.
So right now,
yes,
they are not buying the votes at the polling booths or polling stations, but it has been bought in advance.
This buying in advance has a way of regulating. Because even when they buy, you go into Anambra State with 750 billion naira want to run for a local government election under very clear ground. The money will finish and you must still fail. That's the one dangerous thing about Anambra State. After that thing, that's after chopping the money. Because A will come and say, the man who just left dropped 50 million and you're coming with 10 million. Just know that happens. That's the usual word these structure owners tell politicians. So they will tell you that you live where they are doing also title and going to where somebody is just trying to give his shrine food.
But what type of scrutiny are we putting into the process?
Scrutiny
because you remember there was something you were saying after the Supreme Court judgment,
yes,
and each state government wanted to start campaigns and let local government elections be held. And I said, they're the eyes on the money. The structure owners, the stakeholders also have their eyes on the money.
Yeah, but what happened in this case? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're not interrupting. It's a conversation. The issue is, how do we scrutinize those that would eventually represent us if they are investing into structure owners and stakeholders? Where do we stand as the electorate?
Yeah. One thing that we should mind that I have come to realize that when it comes to politics, it's money, money, money before they talk about who is bringing it, even in more developed societies. So Nigeria is not, and the only thing is that here, they will do money in the first place, money second place, money third place, money to the 10th. So the person who is actually bringing the money becomes irrelevant. Now, what happens is that the state governors in Southeast, where these elections are taking place, without mincing word, stole the business, even from the structure owners, that they become irrelevant. So they become the winner takes it all. Do you understand? And that's where there's even find more dangerous. That is, did not even give any storm of room for scrutiny. The state against one man is so dangerous. So imagine what powers are given to the state. Imagine what powers are given to the nation. And that nation is represented by president. The next person is represented by the governor. When you trickle down, that's how powerful they are.
But I'm imagining the power that is given to an electorate that knows their rights. Yes.
And then that's when you are allowed to understand your power. Because the whole thing is that happened is the Nigerian electorate is that these are people that the politicians are praying that you die by fire. And you went inside your house, bought kerosene and the fuel to bath and come out to meet them. So you are just a fodder. I mean, easy fire material. So the Nigerian electors are actually firing themselves and lost totally their power.
I don't think so. I want to understand that the entire Southeast, there is a system of communal living, collectivity,
yes,
standing together as one. People borrow some of the developmental strides and projects that people in the Southeast carry out.
Yeah.
For example, I was told about around the Newe axis, where some of those who are wealthy will decide to tar roads on their own
Yeah.
for the community.
I'll come to that.
While you are coming to that, I'm coming to where all of us we have failed so far. If we can do that for the growth of each community, why are we not engendering community engagement in terms of telling each and every one of us in each community our rights as an electorate, so that whether it's a stakeholder, whether it's a structure owner, whether it's a governor, whatever class, whether it's a president,
Yes.
you cannot take us for a ride. Why do we always wait and get stampeded by the politicians to leave what is right and do what appears right? You know, they told me to vote,
Yes.
and I was given this. And you know that after you cast your vote, this narrative changes. You're back to square one. So when can we have community engagement that become so fruitful that Nobi, that you talked about having 3 people going to what? The local government headquarters. Those 3 are your first 11.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen to Nobi?
It will develop overnight.
So why can't we do it?
Now, they weaponize poverty. The highest thing that is happening to Nigerian electorate is weaponization of poverty. People are so poor. I was in the polling booth that is a walkover. You know, said everybody's like, because I was there from beginning to end. I waited for 4 hours before, so, you know, the way they are talking, the way even the electoral officials came, told that nobody is bothered about what they are doing. Even when people are waiting for, they came and talk in low tones and do something. And the people that you find around were not electors, they were party officials. And the party stalwarts that have been. So I've seen some old women who came to vote there and they said, after voting, I started laughing at the corner. I stayed up and was laughing. They were looking for who is supposed to give us bonds and the coke. And they were saying, we don't give that here. I said, it is not the kind of election we have. This is not the kind of election we have witnessed before. In some elections, you go there in order not to say we are promoting vote buying or not. But some party will say, go and vote. Or there's pure water here. After voting, go and take. Not that we are giving it to you. To some people will keep some things there. So people see it as how much when you go there, at least head or tail. Whichever party you vote for, you find pure water to drink. But in this case, it's a walkover. Not even, some women were saying, nothing happened, and I was laughing. They were like, nobody give us money to share to anybody, or nobody is buying vote, or nobody is buying us coke to drink and all that. So, if I in that kind of thing, what is uppermost in the mind of the people was that they are going out hoping that, well, at least nothing at home today to eat. By the time they go there,
something will come.
Something, even if it's fine, I use it to come and manage, buy a cup of gari for my family. Some of them felt disappointed. And the first place that the number of people that turned out in some polling booths that I was witness to made me to shed tears. And I will look where I said, and that's what I will keep saying. This is the number of people that voted for these people in this place. In that particular community, that place, that particular polling station that houses 2 polling booths, was one of the biggest in that ward, because it's a node, a primary school that is over 121 years. So it has been there as a center for vote. It used to house more than that number of polling booths. So it's always a festivity going there to vote. You see crowd of people where people even meet up. But there was another thing. And at the end of this, the result has been announced and the winners have emerged. Now, can those people claim now and said, we voted? But yeah, that's why I'm telling you, a bad system that demoralizes people and make them not even forget themselves and what is good for them. It's what Nigerian politicians keep saying. I said, the enemy, common enemy of our people are the politicians. And the sooner that our people realize, and that's why when you are talking, we come in. That's at the time they will say, God help us. We stand together and say no to this. Not in this case, because this local government
It's
thing.
it's in this case, from your analogy, that even after voting, before the results were announced, some people have started planning for the next election.
Yeah.
And the plans definitely will be in the same mode. Oppress the people, weaponize poverty, and ensure they don't stand together so that we'll always be the ones to select those who will stand for us. The ball is in the court of the electorate.
The electorate.
And until the electorate realizes
Yeah.
that they are stronger than the
Together.
stakeholders and the structure owners, that's when we'll take back the electoral system.
Exactly.
But as far as we continue to wait for Barry to appoint one Ima as the person that will represent Nobi, and in our quiet corners, we say, Ima that nobody knows. Well, why is Barry appointing this man now? And then the agents from Barry will come back and tell you, no, he's the right man. He's the man that would do everything well. And we accept, but we forget that the average Southeasterner knows his onions,
Exactly.
knows who is the right man for the job.
Yes.
So why are we
Let
giving
me,
up?
let me tell you something that the politicians in Saudis are exploiting. I can quote me anywhere and I've said it. A typical Southeasterner do not need any governor, any government official. Over time, they've not done nothing for them. You say, the only need is an environment which they've not protected them. There's no security. There is this taxation that is pulling them back. Then the federal government issue is what, in a typical society, go to a typical community, the rich among them will tar the road, put water outside for people to go and fetch. They even put, with thank God for the coming of solar system, in my own community, we led a project, and the chairman of my kindred, we did what they call light up Umudiopara. That's where I come from. You go there now, the solar system we put around Umudiopara, not a single thing for any politician. That's been our life. The typical Southeastern abuse schools, private schools, people attend. The Southeastern build houses, they build the roads. So these people in Oka and all the local government are just there. They only need a little thing to. So nobody asked question before now. They are Republican people who need independence to do their own thing. That's what the politicians in Southeast has used to destroy the mind of the people. They don't really need them for ab initio. So when they come now, because of the high level of because the Southeasterner is not ready to, he will only ask you, there's a word they use, whether positive or negative. Do you feed me? So when you're even calling him to tell him, that's one of the things why they not even take when positive advice is coming, because once you are talking, before you get to somewhere, they see you are coming with some interest. They say, get away. Do you feed him?
But at the rate we are going, it
Yeah.
will happen.
No, it has happened. They started turning that confidence, that kind of stand. The people have started using it against the people. So what happens is that they come and take a few people at the end of it, or they manipulate, and so the Southerners need to get back, and they needed where it's not coming. That's why we have the people at the government to give them massive enlightenment. I'm sorry to say, our brothers and sisters from other parts of Nigeria are more politically aware than us. We are getting aware just because of 2023, but it dropped from that Iroko tree down to the ground, and to build it up, and nobody is interested until they finish taking what they're interested in, and they now come and make political statement. Hey, we need to. They didn't start on time. If all the people in Southern Nigeria were put on the same position of awareness, it could have been a wonderful and robust election where they will have. You have all the. That's when you have opportunity and said, let who the cap fits wear it.
I think we'll still get there. Chris Maduka, thank you for
Thank
coming
you
on to
for inviting
Southeast.
me.
It's been a
But
pleasure.
I enjoyed myself.
Very
Thank you.
valuable, your contributions.
Yes, thank you.
And that's a wrap for today. Barik Mado is my name. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh, independent day it is.
Yes.
Till then, have a great evening.